All right, welcome to the first episode of our podcast, Leather and Laces. I'm your host, Reese. Sitting next to me is Nick. Sitting across from me is Connor, and diagonal is Drew. This is primarily a football podcast with a little dabbling in basketball, a little sprinkle of baseball,
Maybe some music thrown in there.
a little bit of music, the classical music thrown in there. So for our first segment, what we're going to do is we're going to go around the table. We're going to introduce ourselves and kind of talk about, what teams we root for and why we pull for them. Drew, would you like to start?
Absolutely. So my first team is the one that I grew up watching and the one that I've loved the most, and that's Auburn football. Just grown up an Auburn football fan. Both parents Auburn football fan. Mom went to Auburn. We went to been to a couple of games when I went to school there. Football for the NFL, definitely a Dallas Cowboys fan. How about them Cowboys?
Okay.
I was expecting a round
Next
of
one,
boos.
yeah. Okay. Move along.
College basketball, diehard Kentucky basketball fan, which sounds like I'm a bandwagon fan since I live in Alabama. But
Yeah.
I've got family from Kentucky that went to Kentucky, so baseball, huge Atlanta Braves fan, just because we're so close to them. That's my only choice. It's either that or some Florida team, so I'm not gonna mess with that.
No.
And then for NBA basketball,
Yeah. What you got?
it's, my favorite team is LeBron James.
I didn't know he was a team.
Well, he picks the pieces around him. He's le GM, so
That is true. That is
He's,
true.
Get some knee pads.
Get some knee pads going. Yeah.
all right. Enough of that. But yeah,
Nick, what you got, man?
So college football, also Auburn fan, War Eagle. College baseball, Mississippi State. Brother-in-law played there. Became a fan. Really enjoyed the atmosphere. NFL. Let's go Texans.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
are you proud of that one?
For sure. For sure.
Bang on the table for him.
6 or 7 years ago, I never really had a team for any of the major sports, so I chose what I thought was a good idea and just chose a city and based all of my sports off of. So I went Texans, Astros, and Rockets. So, and those are mine.
Connor?
All right, so mine, I go for Alabama and Clemson. So that reasoning, I know old Dabo was from Pelham, where we're from. So go for them. For baseball, or the Braves, closest one. I think that's most of us, except Houston over here, the cheaters.
Whoa.
Bandwagon.
Shots.
I kind of went up going through Peyton Manning for the Colts, but that didn't. Once he kind of left, I didn't really go for the Broncos. So then I had to find a new team. Once we started our little dynasty fantasy football team, went for the Bills because Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, great players, great team.
About that.
It's okay. And then the NBA started kind of late, but I went with the Magic as a joke, and we're gonna stick by that joke. We're just gonna run through it.
Good for you.
And then, last but not least, Michigan State basketball. When I was a kid, March Madness got me some money, so they're my team. And that's it.
All right. Well, I grew up in the state of Georgia, so clearly we're going for the Georgia Bulldogs, reigning two-time champs.
All right.
Your 2-0 Atlanta Falcons. I mean, Braves dynasty. We're on the verge of that. So, you got something to say?
I just bandwagon Atlanta fan. They're all winning right now.
So them being 2-0 for the first time since when? How is that? You can't just be happy for me.
No,
Episode
not at
one.
all.
Okay.
I'm Dallas Cowboys fan. I can't be happy
Awesome.
for anybody
Yeah,
aside from the
explain that one.
Cowboys.
Yeah. Braves fan, Hawks fan. Not really sure what to do with that, but I'll take it with the other teams.
Cry, maybe?
Boston Bruins, because I lived up in New Hampshire, and that was the closest team geographically. That was actually the first few games that I watched of hockey. And that does it for me. So, next segment, we really just got to recap the college football weekend. What did y'all think about Tennessee, Florida? Did Tennessee lose that, or did Florida take it?
I think Tennessee lost it. I know it's rough going into the swamp because they've only won there one time in the last 20 years or something, and it was 2017, I think. But, that Florida team just has not looked good all season. And so losing it to Tennessee or beating Tennessee, I don't know how much credit you can really give them. But a win's a win. So
No, I think as far as that game goes, I think people kind of underrated the player personnel loss at Tennessee. They just kind of assumed that Josh Heupel's system was going to work for everybody. So they took the Michigan man, Joe Milton, and just kind of threw him in there. I think Hendon Hooker might have been a little underrated. And not to mention you had Jalen Hyatt and
Cedric Tillman.
Cedric Tillman leaving as well. So that's quite literally about half your offense. I think it's a rude awakening for Tennessee, who looked to be Georgia's biggest test. But after this week, not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what y'all said. I think Tennessee just didn't look that great, like compared to last year. They lost all those players. As an Alabama fan, I'm happy about it because I'm hoping. I mean, we'll get into that later.
I
But
can't wait to talk about that.
yeah, that'll be interesting. But it does make me a little bit like, well, maybe we'll beat them. Take that, hopefully win that game because we don't play Florida this year, so we don't have to worry about that. We do have to worry about Ole Miss this year. But I mean, Florida look pretty good. The running game, Travis Etienne's brother, Trevor, 172 yards and a touchdown.
that's crazy.
Yep.
Beautiful. So, yeah, I mean, I think Florida just played better.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I mean, I'm a college football guy, but I'm going to let y'all take the reins on the Auburn versus Samford.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think we watched that. So tell us what you got.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch it.
Wow, true fan over here.
Fake.
Episode 1.
So Auburn hosts Samford, who is like, I think they were coming off like a runner-up in FCS or something. They won 11-2 last year, which
Look at that.
is great.
Pretty good, pretty good.
But they only beat one SEC team in the last 30 years, and that was a long time ago. But Peyton Thorne, they finally stopped trying to do the quarterback carousel with Robbie Ashford, where it's like, Peyton gets to play 2 snaps or gets to play a drive and then swap to Robbie. So they finally let Peyton just play. And, I mean, he had that one interception early in the game, but I think he showed that he needs to be the starting quarterback going forward, especially going into next week against A&M at A&M. That's going to be a good game. SEC Media Days, or not SEC Media Days, SEC Nation's going to be there this week, so the SEC's version of College Game Day. So should make for a pretty good game, even if A&M is coming off, or 2 weeks coming off of the loss to Miami. I think it's still going to be a pretty good game. The A&M Auburn game is always good. For some reason, the away team typically wins that, so look for Auburn to make some plays, show out,
Okay.
try and shut the 12th man down.
All right, now your favorite. I don't know, I was gonna try to throw some shade, but I feel kind of bad. So Alabama versus USF.
okay.
How many quarterbacks did y'all go through that game?
Just two.
I'm just glad he went through all of them to see
what-
how bad
And
they were.
yeah.
to name
Jalen
Monroe
Monroe is starting.
Yeah,
I'm glad about that. I think honestly, just how I feel about quarterbacks, I like scrambling quarterbacks, which Jalen Monroe is. He doesn't stay in the pocket long enough at all, which is the unfortunate thing with him. He just kind of like starts moving, which our offensive line doesn't exactly help him. But yeah, that was bad. I was working all day, so I was just listening it through the whole day, just on my AirPods, and it was just terrible to hear. It was
rough to watch.
17-3 was the final score. But yeah, Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson's fine. I think he shouldn't. I want him to play later on, like maybe next year. Tyler Buckner. I don't even know how to say his name.
Yeah.
Notre Dame guy.
Exactly.
He's not that good. I don't know why he transferred to Alabama, but it was a good game for us to kind of like find out who else we had. So I'm fine with it. We won, so that's the good thing. We play Ole Miss, which will be it'll be tough,
That's gonna
but
be a good game.
I think we can still pull it off. I think Jalen Monroe has a good game running. I hope that who is I think it was Roydell. Yeah, Roydell and Jace both had good games, both for running backs. Roydell.
Oh, yep.
Our running game needs to be good. Our defense is usually pretty good, but our offensive alignment is just terrible.
Well, so I think Milroe is the right option for them. After watching the other two play, I don't think that they have all the tools that he has. The one problem with Milroe is he can make the throws. He just currently struggles with making the decisions on where to go. It doesn't seem like he's reading defense. He's like staring at the safety and then throwing right at him, it seems.
It's like me and Madden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nice.
Receptions, yeah.
But when he makes the right read, or if there's not a read at all and he's just got the open man, he makes picture perfect throws. So if he can just figure out, actually try and read the defense and not just script your plays all the time.
I'm just glad they had the ability to have an open quarterback tryout. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, we got to see this guy sucks. This guy sucks worse. So let's go with the other
It
guy.
was like a hurricane was going through. It was raining, all sorts of things going on.
I just don't know how you go from, all right, we're going to start with this guy and then move to this guy. And we're going to go back to the guy that we played last year or last week for the next game.
Well, it's
I don't know why
an important game.
I don't know
Might
why
as
they
well-
didn't
They
play-
wanted to try him out just because they knew that was going to be an easier game, which it shouldn't be 17-3. It should have been more, but
I
it's
guess that's
just-
true.
I
If you're going to
mean,
give him an opportunity,
you might as
to-
well be like one of those games. And now we know that both of the quarterbacks, I think Ty Simpson's better. So like if Jalen Murray does have an issue, now they know it's like, okay, let's go with Ty Simpson and see what he can do. But I think Milroe is not like terrible. I just think our whole team really isn't we just don't have that spark right now. And he's probably our best bet right now, just because again the scrambling is good to have. He can make the throws sometimes. I mean, he'll make a few interceptions here and there, but it's kind of what we have to work with. So
he can certainly extend plays.
yeah, that's what I like about him. So that's just what we gotta work on, I guess.
Then we had Colorado going into double OT at like 2 a.m. our time against Colorado State. Do y'all think Colorado is still the real deal, sitting at 3-0, or did they kind of just feasted on lesser opponents?
I mean, that's a good question. I think it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, that's a cop-out answer. But Shadur Sanders has looked good first 3 weeks. Probably looked like the best quarterback in the country, honestly,
One of the best.
for sure. They've got great players. Even with Hunter out, I think they're still pretty loaded at wide receiver.
Got some explosive guys.
And their running backs legit too. But they have a massive test coming up with Oregon at Oregon.
And Travis Hunter's out.
Yeah,
And
Travis Hunter
USC coming up too.
Yeah, that's two. I don't see them winning
In
those
Oregon
two games,
State.
especially Colorado State being that low. I watched that game because I was in bed and I was just kind of like I had one eye open, and they ended up coming back and winning. It was pretty fun. It was pretty cool watching it. I mean, good for them. They won. It was Colorado State, but again, this team did win one game last year, so to be 3-0 is pretty good. So, but yeah, Oregon and USC, I don't see them beating them too. But
How many point favorites were they over State?
they were
Wasn't it like
20.
28?
They were like, no, it was 24. It was 24 and a half, I think. So
I mean-
yeah, they were heavily favored, but they won, so that's what mattered. But yeah, this weekend's gonna be tough for them.
What did y'all think about Norvell's comments ahead of the game? It's like my mama raised me. Like when you talk to somebody, you take your hat and your sunglasses off.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't care.
And then everybody showed up. They're all decked out in sunglasses. They even had the Rock on College game
Deion
day.
Sanders
giving him
is
sunglasses.
one of the best marketing coaches
Oh.
I have seen. Like they did like over $1 million in
Yeah,
sunglasses
$1.2 million
that week.
just
Yeah.
because of Deion Sanders.
That is
The sunglasses and the hood, it made me think of I think it was a preseason game, the Jets versus Broncos, and Sean Payton had said something about he doesn't want his all of his players to be on the sidelines wearing sunglasses out of their jerseys and wearing bucket hats, and then you see Garrett Wilson on the other sideline in those exact three things.
love Garrett Wilson. Love him.
But yeah, I think, and I'm a huge Prime fan. He, got drafted the Falcons 5th overall back in the day. Love him. Love his swag. But
And the Braves.
now they're going against two very refined teams. So
Yeah.
I think we're about to find out real quick. If
So
they're
what's
the real deal or not.
any predictions on the Colorado Oregon game? Going into Oregon.
Where is it at Oregon?
It's at Oregon.
I think they lose by a couple touchdowns, if not more. I think they'll keep it close at first, maybe, but I think Bo Nix has a decent game. But I mean, their defense, the Colorado's defense, is not good. I mean, I think Shiloh's pretty good. Who's the other one? He's good, but like I don't know what the scores have been in all three games, but hasn't the defense let up like a lot of points all
it
three
was
games?
38 the second game, third game. And
First game was
first
TCU,
game
and they
was
let up like 40
42.
something. Yeah, and then this one was
And that's-
35.
That's
So
even
they
with Hunter.
This is with Colorado State. Who they play last week? Not this
Nebraska.
week. Nebraska. So Colorado State, Nebraska, and TCU, they scored 30 plus on all of them. So Oregon's gonna score. They might score 60.
I wouldn't be shocked.
And,
Especially with them not having Hunter, I think Nix is
Yeah.
going to have a phenomenal game.
I think it'll affect the team for sure.
I think just morale wise, him not being there is going to be huge. And I feel like they put all their energy into this Colorado State game to the point where I think they're going to have more success versus USC than Oregon.
I would not be
So,
shocked by that at
not
all.
to mention USC's defense is trash. They lit up 28 points to, was it San Jose, San Diego State, something like that? Some no-name school. Exactly. So, plus it's at Colorado with USC, so I think,
Definitely home field advantage.
yeah.
We'll sway at least 7 points.
But no, I think they're going down by multiple scores against Oregon.
So what's your final score prediction?
Like 62, 35, 42 maybe. It's
I
gonna be.
was-
I think it's a high scoring game.
I was
Wow.
thinking 63-24.
I'll say 52-31.
What you got, Nicholas?
I think I'm gonna say 48-24.
We're all saying Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
just
yeah,
making sure.
yeah,
Make sure we're on
yeah.
the same page.
All right, what about Florida State Clemson? What do y'all think about that?
Florida State.
I'm
Well,
smashing
they're
Florida
only
State
favored
minus 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
Which is
1.5 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
Well, it's at
Is-
Clemson. That has to be the only game.
I know, but like it,
That shouldn't
I mean,
matter.
Well, it does matter a little bit. Clemson Stadium, it gets. I mean, they're good, but Death Valley, the other Death Valley for people, LSU fans out there. But I don't know. I mean, I'm a Clemson fan, so I have hope. I'm glad these past couple games of Clemson, they've just blown out their teams, which is good after the first loss. Like we won 48-14 this past week, and then 66-17 the other week, which was good. And Cade's looked fine for those games, but this will be a really important game because technically we're still in the race like every other one loss team in the country. But if we lose this one, obviously we're not looking too great for this, but it could happen. I can see us winning. Do I think we will? No, but I have hope.
I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I think
Yeah.
Clemson actually has a better game than they're expected. So I'll probably say like something like 31-17.
Yeah. I think we have a good defense, which will definitely we need to get a couple turnovers and not have any turnovers ourselves. But I think it'll be like a one-score game going down to the final seconds. Hopefully Clemson comes on top, but I can see Florida State winning.
I'll take Florida State by double digits for sure.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 30-10 Florida
Yeah.
State.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
You know what else was 30-10 this week? Cowboys Jets. Let's go.
Just hold on a couple seconds.
All right, hold on. Sorry. Got
Now,
all excited.
the big game is going to be the college game day game. The number 6 Ohio State versus the number 9 Notre Dame. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
How do y'all feel about that?
I think Hartman is he's put on a show first 3 weeks. If you're talking about best quarterbacks in NCAA,
Yep.
it's Sanders, Nix, and Hartman for sure.
No Carson Beck.
Who?
Oh,
Who's
nice. 3-0 Carson Beck. Yeah.
Okay.
almost lost to South Carolina at home?
Who have they?
The fact that we had a segment about Auburn versus Sanford just shows we had to
we don't
talk
talk
about
about
that.
Georgia.
Yeah. Nah, no need to.
Nope.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame wins. It's at Notre Dame, right?
It is.
I think that's huge. If it was at Ohio State, I might be in favor of Ohio State, but I think Sam Hartman, if he keeps playing the way he does, and who's Ohio State's quarterback?
Couldn't tell
McCord.
you.
Kyle McCord.
McCord. Is he doing good?
Shaky.
Yeah, that's
Well,
at Notre Dame. I don't know.
The second game, Marvin Harrison Jr., he had a great game, I'm pretty sure. It's just that first week, it was super shaky.
Which, first year of a new quarterback,
Yeah.
it's going to be that way. But I'll pick Notre Dame on that one. And I don't think it's particularly close.
Not to mention the run game. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, but Estime, their
Yeah.
running back,
He
ran for like
looked
170 this
really
past
good.
week.
Wow.
Yeah. I think with an experienced quarterback in Hartman and then him. Final score prediction, I'll say Ohio State 24, Notre Dame, say 34.
I'm with you on the. I'll take 10 points, Notre Dame, and 10 points. So, I'm gonna say 38-28. I'm kind of
I'll
contradicting
do
me.
like 42-28 Notre Dame.
See that?
31-21
Who?
Notre
Yeah.
Dame.
We like the 10.
All Notre Dame.
We're all in agreement. It's kind of weird. I don't like it.
Sorry, 31-18.
I don't know. Ohio State just might lay an egg. So, I mean, it could be closer to 18 for sure.
What do y'all think about Alabama and Ole Miss?
I think Alabama, and I think Jalen Milroe has a bounce back game after coming off of being benched. But I mean, the one thing about Jalen, both Jalen Milroe and Jalen Hurts, because he had to deal with the same thing being benched for Tua. With him being on the sidelines, he wasn't down in the dumps or anything. He always kept his head up
Supporting his teammates.
supporting his teammates. So that's a true leader right there, leading your team through the ups and the downs. So I think he has a bounce back week. I think he starts off a little rough, throws a pick or two, but I think Alabama wins 31-28. Close game.
31-28.
Yeah, I think it'll be kind of like that, close. Hopefully, I'm going for Alabama. I think we will win. I think being at Bryant-Denny after losing to Texas, we need to win this game. And I think Nick Saban's going to make the adjustments. I don't know what adjustments he'll make, but he'll make the right adjustments to beat the out-coach Lane Kiffin. And I think we'll pull off the wins in terms of scoring. I don't know. I think it'll be like, Nick, would you say 31-28? I think it's going to be like that too, around that.
Be a close game.
Yeah. I think it'll be a field goal touchdown decision. Whoever has the last ball, probably.
I think if Alabama wins, they win by 3. I think if Ole Miss wins, it's going to be because Lane cooked up something and they just crapped on Alabama.
You think Jackson Dart is the real deal? So they brought in what's his name from Oklahoma State?
Sanders.
Yeah. And he came in thinking he was going to be like the de facto starter because you get a high caliber transfer quarterback. But Jackson Dart comes in and just proves that he's the guy. Week 1, they put up 70 on like a no-name team, but still
70.
I mean, 70 coming off of an offseason. Granted, you kept a lot of your guys, including Quinshon Judkins, which that's huge.
He was hurt, though.
Did he get hurt? I thought he was playing week 1.
No, he was hurt last week. I know that much.
Well, so that'll be an interesting thing to watch for this game, for sure. If Judkins plays, that's like a whole other wrinkle that Kiffin can throw at everybody.
One of the best in the country.
Oh, yeah.
You got any thoughts on Auburn, Texas A&M?
It's going to be interesting because I don't know if y'all watched the Cal game last week. You probably didn't because it started
Past my
at like
bedtime,
9. But the offense looked atrocious last week. The defense, surprisingly, like I was talking to all my Auburn buddies like coming into the Cal game, I was like, the offense is going to be fine, but the defense is so suspect. And it was complete 180. Like the defense and Asante, our linebacker, like they were reading his name off like every other play. And then the offense is just like, Cal turned the ball over 3-4 times, and we had short field like the entire game, and we only had 2 touchdowns. So it'll be interesting. They're coming off of the win against Samford at home. Peyton finally got to play 90% of the snaps at quarterback, which is what I've been clamoring for this whole time. So I think he has a pretty good game, but his performance dictates the outcome for sure. If he has a good game, I think we win. If he has a rough game, I think it's a loss.
I'll say 24-17 Auburn. I think Auburn's going to win it.
I'm going to say, I think it is going to be low scoring. I'll say 27-20 Auburn on the road. I honestly couldn't tell anybody on Texas A&M's team right now.
That's what I'm struggling with. I don't know much about
But I
them at
mean,
all.
so I know they lost to Miami on the road at Miami, and it was what, week 2?
Yeah, but Miami's pretty solid.
They lost by 15.
And I know they beat the doors off UL Monroe,
Oh, yeah.
like 48-25 something.
47-3.
Whoa, even worse than I
Yeah,
thought.
defense. Yep.
So we'll see. It's going to be SEC battle. A&M and Auburn always have a pretty good game, so coming down to the wire. We'll see how that plays out.
Just to be on the other side, I'll go Texas A&M by 13.
Final score?
Oh,
I mean, pick it, dude, by 13.
Yeah, dude,
Say
27.
21.
so like 70-57.
No, Auburn
No.
can't put up that many points.
That's true, honestly.
Yeah, fair.
All right. So weekend recap for the NFL. I'll let you lead it off because your team is just outscoring people by what, 1,000?
Yeah, I mean, starting last week, coming off of a Sunday night game at the Giants, same stadium, with 40-0, which is only the second time that score has happened in NFL history.
Almost a score guy. Interesting.
That's 40-0, and it's I think it's the biggest blowout the Cowboys have had with a goose egg. So that's most points they put up against nothing. But Dak didn't have to do a whole lot week one just because it was raining, so it was going to be. I think his completion percentage was like right at 50%, but with it wet, he didn't have to do a whole lot, and tight ends had drops. But then with the Jets coming in with an Aaron Rodgers-less Jets, I thought it was going to be close early with the Wilson to Wilson connection on that 67-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, the defense just stepped in and was like, we're not having it.
Yeah.
Michael Parsons continues to be a freak of nature. Not quite Lawrence Taylor yet because he's got a long career ahead of him to do that, but Lawrence Taylor-esque in his ability to just get to the quarterback. It's insane.
So you saying, you just think he's going to get there, huh?
No, I think he's got
the best defensive player of all time. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I mean,
Like,
he's
that's a stretch.
bringing
I, mean,
it
y'all,
up.
I know y'all took the state of New Jersey and just outscored them 70-10. We're talking Daniel Jones and Zach Wilson, so
That's true.
With
Daniel
a bad
Jones did
O-line.
just put up 400 yards against the Cardinals.
Hey, they won, so
They,
you know.
they had to come back. What was it, 28-0 at one point?
28-3.
It was 20. It was like
Dude, don't
21-0,
do that.
maybe
Don't say
23.
that.
But
Don't say that.
Hey, man, the resiliency. They were on the
say
road, man.
what?
My blood's already boiling after that. Why are you saying that score?
Oh, no.
Wow, 10 minutes to get that. Jeez, yeah. 28-3 kind of burns me a
I
little
think we
bit,
need to
man.
slip that into like every
Yeah.
episode
Wow.
as best
No.
we can.
I didn't
we
even mean to
don't.
do it that time.
Yeah,
It
no.
just,
You
it
shouldn't
just
have
comes
said
so
anything.
easily.
We weren't even
No.
thinking of it.
I'm just so far ahead.
He's just triggered.
I'm just.
He just takes everything as digs at him, you
For
know?
those who don't know, the Falcons.
Do we need to
Patriots.
explain that after this?
Well, I did.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
a
So
dumb.
I
Tom
feel
Brady
like
took
I
a
get-
dumb.
What Super Bowl was that?
Long time ago.
Yeah, doesn't even matter,
Long time.
It's
but
a pretty good
Feels like
Super
it
Bowl
was
too.
yesterday.
It's a
Yep.
pretty good.
Matty
game.
Ice,
James
Tom
White.
Brady,
Julio with the greatest catch of all time.
Julio.
So Cowboys are going to follow up the first week 1 and 2 wins against both New York teams to go on the road to the Cardinals. Any guess on the final score on that one?
They're gonna win.
Yeah, Dobbs is gonna
Probably 70-10.
Nah.
7.
You think Dobbs has a good game?
No. I don't think it's gonna be anything 70 related. I'll say like 37-17.
Who did the Cardinals? Who did they play week 1?
They played the Commanders.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, what was the score of that game?
It was close.
Let's find out.
I think it was like 25-30, something like that.
20-16
2016.
at home.
Mm.
So I mean, against those two teams, I think the Cowboys can put up. I wouldn't be surprised if they put up 50.
Final score, I'll probably say 37-7.
I'm gonna say 55-10.
Wow.
Whoa.
Bold.
Wait for the Cowboys game.
Yeah, 55-10.
You think the Cardinals are
think
gonna
that-
beat the Cowboys that bad?
Wow. Wow. I think Stephon Gilmore and Diggs shut down Dobbs. Have a couple picks each. Maybe one for a tutty. Maybe both of them.
I
You're
bet,
just shaking your head.
honestly, I could imagine a scoop and score though.
I mean, there's not many outcomes that aren't possible in a game like this where one of them's heavy favorited. But I mean, you could also have like total opposite. Like, what if Dobbs comes out and has the game of his life, and it's a close game at home?
I mean, I was making the joke of them outscoring New Jersey 70-10, but that's completely in the realm.
With the Cardinals?
Yeah, maybe. You went 55-10. That was light, but hey.
Against the team that before the season started didn't have any games favored for them.
That's
That-
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
That were projected 0 wins basically, and already were told they were getting the first overall pick.
So much so that Caleb Williams is like, I think I'll stick around a year.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Because he's getting paid now. So what does he have to lose?
Exactly. Stay in college,
it's
man.
fair.
Nick, any thoughts about the Texans? CJ looked all right. He looked all right.
They had a lot of
Yeah,
pass
something
attempts.
Yeah, I
a
saw
rookie.
that he. I don't know if it's in the whole league or if it's rookie wise, but he has the highest throwing attempts so far.
Not
Well,
sure
'cause
I
they're
heard
down
that.
in every game. But
Well,
no,
yeah,
it's cool though. That's cool.
What are they getting Pierce mixed in any? Damian?
he's not getting much done. Honestly, I think he's
Good.
averaging about 3 yards a carry, maybe less.
Golly.
But Nico Collins has been showing out. Tank Dell made a big impact this past week.
Mechie done anything?
Mechie had 1 catch this week, but it was late fourth quarter, kind of just, I guess, to get him a catch on his first game.
That's great. I
So,
love that.
yeah, it was fantastic. But we couldn't seal the deal on what should have been, I think, our easiest win or our only favored matchup. So, but it's all right. We can bring it back. We can do it.
We got playing this week?
We are playing.
Jaguars.
Yeah.
Hey, I believe in you guys.
I think that'll actually be a closer game than you think it's going to be.
I don't.
Well, if the Jags play anything like last week, but I think they're going to come back and just absolutely smoke them.
I think, yeah. I think last week is going to haunt the Jaguars, and they are going to make it their mission every single week for the rest of the season.
I'm just wondering what the Jaguars were doing with Tank Bigsby. I know I'm biased because he's an Auburn guy, but like it didn't seem like they were using him hardly at all last week.
I think the vast majority of touches went to Etienne, which I think
And then
week
because they were
one.
down, so they had to get the passing game going, and he's more of a receiver.
Well,
but
and I think Etienne got injured, like not like a big injury or anything, but I think they pulled him towards the end just to be cautious. I could be wrong on that, but I know Tank finally got him some touches at the end, but it was too little, too late. So
it was just a weird. I mean, 17-9, that's just a weird game overall. I mean, you thought it was going to be just a shootout.
Yeah.
And to have both quarterbacks struggle like that, even with Kelsey coming back, I mean, only 17 points, I don't think many people expected that.
what do y'all think about the Thursday night game, Giants at Niners?
Well, hold on. Before we project, can we talk about the 2-0 Atlanta Falcons?
Well,
Can I have a moment here?
Drake
Just
London.
kinda relive
Drake
it. They were
London.
on the
Yeah.
list.
Drake
Yeah.
London.
Kyle Pitts, yeah.
Here's the-
head.
Here's the deal.
Didn't Jonnu Smith have a better fantasy?
Here's the deal.
Then
We're not.
Kyle
We're talking about
Pitts.
reality, all right? We're talking reality.
That is
here.
reality.
I think he had more
No,
catches
it's-
and
no.
more
Kyle
yardage.
Pitts is reality.
My
He's
team
just
is
not-
2-0. 2-0. Arthur Smith's trying to win football games, guys. He said, I'm going to give you a PG. He said, forget about your fantasy team. Forget about my fantasy team. Not Bijan. Bijan's balling out.
Yeah.
Bijan's a man.
Kyle Pitts, there's a reason he's on the bench. My bench, but I think the way they're playing, I mean, granted, Packers and Panthers, two inexperienced quarterbacks. I think they take it versus the Lions next week. I do. In Detroit,
I think with this being their first real test, because week one they had Bryce Young
Yeah.
with his first game, which I think, I don't know what the score is the game right now, but
it's
6-3.
Yeah.
6-3. I think he could have an okay game today. I think the Lions, it's going to be the first real test for the Falcons because the Falcons had, the Panthers and then the
Packers.
Packers.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say that. The Packers,
Yeah.
they're no slouch.
They aren't.
They came
Falcons
back.
beat 'em.
They were down, double digits fourth quarter?
Yeah, and then they
that's
came
down.
back. I think I turned off that game because I was like, oh, well, the Packers got it.
You just assume.
Yeah, I just assumed.
Falcons got that dog in them, man.
They do.
But I think
Well, it's usually them being up and then choking, not the other way around.
Did they go
Well,
for
new era. New era.
Did they go for it on fourth down twice that last drive, or was it just once?
No, so they did it the first time, even though they didn't have to, because they got Younghoe Koo who can make it from like 50,
just
60.
time. They were trying to get rid of
But
time.
and then the second time it was 4th and 2, and I think they went out there, ran the clock down. They were trying to get them draw them off sides just to make it for that much easier of a field goal attempt
Gotcha.
if they needed it. But it was an interesting choice to go for it on 4th down.
I mean, the Lions hype train already kind of came to a halt. I mean, losing against Seattle.
Seattle solid.
Oh, they're going to walk up there and they're going to show them how it's done.
I don't think so.
They're going to run it down their throats.
I got Lions on that.
Lions don't even know how to use their first round running back. We do. So
Well, they're gonna have to figure it out sooner or later because
They're looking at 1 and 2, buddy.
They'll figure it out
Montgomery's
this
out.
week. They'll figure it out this week.
No, I don't think so. I got
Just-
Falcons by 10. Yep.
did y'all see all the memes for Gibbs? They're like, we're gonna use him in new and experienced ways, and they would just cut to the bench. It's like, I don't think that's what you meant, but
Yeah.
Any word on the Bills?
Bills looked
How
great.
are you feeling
They
after
play the
the,
Raiders, but I mean,
Cook.
James, he cooked. He was cooking. Diggs didn't get a touchdown, but he got, I think, 7 targets, 7 completions. Allen looked great, much better than against the Jets. It's always good. So great game to have after the bad loss to the Jets.
Who the Bills
I'm
have
proud of them.
this
They
week?
have the Commanders. Interesting game. It's at Washington. I think the Bills should have this. It could be close for a little bit, but then they'll pull away in the second half. I'm hoping. I think if Josh Allen just keeps, not turning it over, just kind of playing his game, he'll be fine.
I know I've got some skin in the game for this team, but I think the Commanders actually win this game at home. That's not a runaway victory or anything. I think Sam Howell continues to prove that he can be, at a minimum, a game manager. And I think with Gibson and the other guy, Robinson, I think Gibson and Robinson have a pretty decent game.
What has Gibson done?
I don't think Gibson has
Gibson doesn't
been
even-
a part of it,
He doesn't
really.
even play. It's Robinson,
Robinson,
who has been very good. I've been, fantasy team, so.
but I mean, the Commanders' defense, it's not terrible. It's not it's not the Cowboys or anything. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Well, no, they don't have all pros at 3 levels, but
got
not many
Chase
teams
Young.
do.
Dude, he's done nothing. They didn't even pick up his 5th-year option.
No,
That's how bad he's been.
he just started last week. Played a few snaps. But I think
no,
the
I think it
Bills
was this
being
week.
favored by 6.5 in Washington is very disrespectful.
I agree.
I think Washington wins the game.
I agree. What do you
Yep.
got? Score?
I think it's by 10 for the Bills.
I'm gonna
Bills? Yeah, both
say.
Bills.
Trying to think. I said by 2, so I'm kind of stuck there. I'll say. 24-21. I can't think of a good.
I'm gonna say
two-score.
35-31 Commanders.
See,
Redskins.
I don't think Commanders can put up that
Commanders.
many points.
Whatever they're
There's,
called.
there's no way that the Commanders are getting that many points.
I think Josh Allen kind of reverts to what he did last week against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I think he throws some strays, and he's got the most turnovers in the league since getting in the league. I know that's like a hot button thing to talk about. Like, everybody wants to throw shade at him.
Especially
Because
after
of that.
Dayball left. I mean, he's been kind of. I mean, they might not win. I'm definitely taking the 6.5 plus 6.5. That's easy. But
Minus 6.5
Washington's
is
D-line,
easy.
Yeah.
I think the Bills win. I mean, I think bet a couple touchdowns.
Wow.
I
No
think it's just
respect,
like
no
the game.
respect. It's a new
I'm
era
glad
in
we have all
Washington.
this,
I think
not only
it-
like audio recorded, but on camera, so we can just go back.
You can even lip read if you want to take away the
Yeah.
audio. I'm glad.
Yeah, I just
A couple
just-
educated minds going. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do know who whose teams have the most wins
All
so
right.
far this season.
Hey, we haven't even gotten there yet, man.
It's all right. Just a little preview.
It's only been 2 weeks, so I'm just saying anything can
How many
happen.
weeks are in the season, Connor?
A lot of weeks.
Way more than 2.
Also,
That's right.
That's right.
That's George math right
funny
there.
that
That's
it's
right,
coming from the
that's
guy
right.
in last currently, but we'll get back to that.
Underdog. Everyone loves an underdog.
Not
I am
everybody.
surprised the Rams have
Who doesn't
win.
love an underdog?
And what's his name at wideout? Like, he's
For who? What team?
for the Rams.
Is it Puka?
Oh,
Puka.
I don't know how to pronounce his
Nakua?
last
He's Puka Nakua. He's, I think in our league, he's actually on a taxi squad right now, which is crazy. Not even being used.
No, I think
Typical Rush to move
did
by
Eli
Eli.
has him on his
Yeah.
bench.
I think Eli started him.
No, he didn't.
Wow.
Are you sure?
He got-
I played against him.
I know he
That'd
got.
be too savvy of a move by Eli. Come on, guys. Yeah.
Well, so we got Williams and he's got Nakua or whatever. Like, how did
picked up both.
we let that
Well, I
happen?
tried picking up Kyron, but
You bet 300 you didn't have it.
well, I did have it. Well, no.
Yeah, he didn't have room on his team.
No, I did. No, okay, here I did, but the issue was because Penny was on my IR and I had a slot open, but for some reason he wasn't like it, at the that day when the waiver process, he was considered not eligible to be on the IR anymore.
Oh my
So that's why I
gosh.
didn't drop anyone.
You should have said something about it.
I did say it.
No, you definitely didn't say that.
Do you
Well,
guys,
you got co-commissioners over here. We could have made something happen.
Oh wait, that was the Marvin Mims thing. That was something else.
do you guys know how
Taxi
many
squad.
targets Puka had this week?
15.
No, he had 15 catches.
Oh my gosh,
He had
20
targets.
Holy cow!
That's outrageous.
Kyron, did he even do anything this week?
He had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
So
also
you-
caused an interception as well because it
So
just
you
like
should
hit
have
off
said
his
something
hands.
because you put up
Nice.
300. Eli put up 200, and I put up 100. So I don't think you should
I
have
don't
been.
care.
It
It's
shouldn't
fine.
have mattered.
It don't matter. I beat Eli, so who cares?
Yeah.
Hey, me too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now
Join the club.
now Eli and Ryan are 0-2.
I just can't believe my fantasy team's doing as well as it has for the first 2
You're
weeks.
gonna be. Are you 2-0?
I know. No, I'm not gonna be 2-0, but I'm gonna be.
Who you playing?
I'm gonna have the.
Eli and Ryan are 0-2.
Oh, yeah.
Who am I playing?
So for those of y'all that don't know,
playing
because we haven't
Colby.
explained it yet, what they're referring to as far as teams is our NFL most wins draft. And that's going to be coming up after we finish this. Is the 4 of us divided it up, snake style, your typical fantasy draft, but we picked the teams that we thought would win the most wins. Wow.
The
Say
most
that
wins.
Get the most wins. And so that'll be after this, and may or may not have put a little wager into it. I don't want to kind of mess up our sponsors that we have, but unless y'all have anything else, NFL wise.
Is there any other? Oh, so what do y'all think about Chargers Vikings? You get 2 pretty good rosters, both starting the year off 0-2.
Yeah.
2 pretty good quarterbacks. I mean, I think Kirk Cousins, if he continues this on, will be 0-17, but he'll have 6,000 yards passing. So,
Where's it at?
I think it's.
Oh, if it's in
at
LA, it
Vikes.
doesn't really matter. Okay. Yeah.
So I think the Vikings. Who do you think comes out with the win, and who's going to be 0-3?
I don't know. I thought the Chargers were going to win this past week against the Titans. I think I might go Vikings just because I think Eckler's going to be out this week again.
Yeah,
That's what I
he
was
is.
thinking.
So-
Yeah, he's going to be out, and it is. I don't. I mean, yeah, it is. It's at Minnesota, which does help. The Chargers haven't looked that great. Vikings haven't looked great either. I'll be pulled for the Vikings. I don't know. It's kind of like 50-50, honestly.
So the interesting thing about the Titans, we haven't really talked like hardly any at all about them. But Vrabel, in games that he is the underdog, he has the best record at being an underdog of any head coaches in the league right
what
now.
a segue that was. Nice, Drew.
That's good. That's good. So we'll see what they do. But I think I'm gonna take Vikes on that one. I think Cousins puts up, a ridiculous stat line again.
I mean, Kirk's been playing well.
Oh yeah,
He's
I know.
been fine.
It's gonna have to be the defense and Harrison Smith stepping up against the Chargers, especially with Eckler out. They gotta make do with that. But
I mean, I thought Kelly was going to have more of an impact than he did this week. So, I mean, if he just keeps that up, I mean, it's really just defending against the pass. And I don't know. Everything, I feel like roster construction, everything says the Chargers should win this game with an up-and-coming quarterback and all that. But they've just taken everything I've thought would be logical and just reversed it. So, I'll take the Vikings.
we were talking in a couple weeks back about what we thought the Vikings would actually do this year. Last year they were 11-0 in one-score games.
Yeah.
They're 0-2 in one-score games. So
Yeah.
now they really pushed to make it a one-score game because I don't know if y'all watched the Vikings-Eagles game. It was not particularly close in the third quarter, but they came back and made it a ball game. They definitely had a shot to try, like however unlikely, they definitely had a shot to try and win that game.
Yep. All right. No good?
Yeah, good.
All right, so that's going to wrap up our first ever episode of Leather and Laces. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and don't forget to tune in next Monday night.
Like and subscribe. Tell your friends.
Are we not doing the wins-loss?
Nah, I told them that was coming next.
Oh, okay.
So basically, this is, and we may or may not have put a little wager on it. So, but divided up between us 4, we're picking between the 32 teams. We're going snake draft style, like your typical fantasy league, and we're picking teams that you think will win the most games at the end of the year. Whoever's pool of teams has the most wins gets the prize if there is one.
Did we ever do anything if there's a tie or anything?
I
guess just split?
Yeah.
Like a 1v1 basketball situation.
What?
Yeah.
What if?
You're not good. You're
Well,
not
how about
good?
this? How
You're not
about
good
if
enough?
you have a tie?
No.
If you have a tiebreaker on the record, what if you have this, whoever goes furthest in the playoffs of whoever's left.
Oh.
So like if you have the
I'll take
the
that, man.
Bengals,
I'll take
if
that.
you have
I
the
like
Bengals
that.
and they win the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So if one of your teams wins the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
you win it, pretty much.
well, if you're
If
if
you're
you're
one
one
of
if
the
you're
overall,
tied,
yeah.
no, if you have the tiebreaker,
Yeah, tiebreaker.
If if you had the
But like,
yeah,
if there's no
gotcha.
tiebreaker, if you have like the best overall
Yeah.
record, you
Right.
get it. It doesn't matter who wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice, nice.
So I'm cool with that?
Good thing I
Oh,
got
yeah.
a Super Bowl winning team.
You're telling me. So we randomized the draft order. Ended up being me, Connor,
Shocker.
Nick, and Drew. Drew's already bitching. So with the first overall pick, I think this is the safest bet on the board. Some would argue Bills. I would argue Eagles,
I don't-
just from
I
what they
would
did
not.
last year. But safest bet's going to be for 12 or 13 wins, the Kansas City Chiefs. So I will take them 101. Connor is up.
I'll go with the better one, the Bills.
The better one, okay. What if they won?
Ooh.
Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
Yay.
They haven't won before, so it's got to happen.
Aside from fantasy
It's gonna
leagues,
happen.
though-
It's gonna happen. Yeah.
aside from fantasy leagues, what is Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs winning? That one hurts.
That's a little dig at history. Yeah.
Oh, it hurts.
Oh, Diggs. Oh, Diggs.
All right, so we got Chiefs and Bills off the board. Nick is up. Pretty good selection left.
I agree. Why not go with a reigning team from the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles?
I like it. I like
I
it.
feel like they're gonna have a step back this year.
It could.
Agree. I agree.
I
They
think their
lost.
division's a little tougher this year.
Yeah.
Think the Cowboys take a big step, or you think another step, or do you think the Commanders take a step?
I think. I can't get past the fact that the Washington Commanders. I just don't think it's a good team, and I don't think Sam Howell.
I love it.
is
Nick's hot
good.
takes coming at you live.
I don't know how much he's really gonna prove. Ron Rivera seems pretty excited about him, but
So you think the Cowboys and the Giants have the same year or better that they did last year?
I do.
I will say I think Washington has a higher ceiling than many people would think because Bieniemy comes in there. That really spices it up. I wonder about the workload share between Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson. I think they start using Antonio Gibson's playmaking ability more. Dotson, I'm really like Jahan Dotson in all fantasy leagues out there. I'd scoop him up. Terry McLaurin's not half bad either. So I think there's potential to be there. Defense isn't half bad. So
Defense is pretty
interested to see where
solid.
they go in this draft.
All right, with 401 or 104, I'd pick the 49ers that went 13-4 last year. You get a full year of hopefully healthy Brock Purdy.
Brock Star.
You get healthy Bosa this year, healthy Debo this year, and McCaffrey for an entire offseason with Shanahan. So I feel like all that adds up to as good, if not better, year this year.
Do you still think Purdy's gonna be what he is, or what he is last year?
I do think he has. I wouldn't say a sophomore slump, but I do think some teams figure him out halfway through the season. So I don't know that he's going to have the same production that he did last year when he played.
He wasn't a very mobile quarterback, right?
No.
He was a very
In the preseason,
good
he just got a rushing
pocket
touchdown.
passer.
I think sneaky athletic,
he
but
got
as far
better.
as using it as a weapon, no.
Gotcha.
Runs when he has
Not
to.
like Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts.
No,
Maybe more
no,
like Dak
no.
Prescott.
Okay.
Oh.
Young Dak or now
No,
Dak?
now Dak.
Okay.
Now Dak.
Yeah.
Where it only uses it when you have to. And then pick 105. I'm going with the Bengals.
201.
Or 201. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going with the Bengals.
Okay.
I just think with that wide receiving core, the defense that is always better than you think that they are, and then Joe Mixon, I think it adds up.
Yeah. I mean, I can't hit you there.
Yeah.
It's got
I
the
agree.
202. Where are we going?
202. We are going Jacksonville. One of the strongest offenses there are.
Really?
Yes.
Why do you
Over
think
the
a hot take.
Dolphins?
Nikki's
and
hot take.
the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Trevor Lawrence, who before the NFL
Touchdown Jesus. What?
didn't know what a loss was.
Didn't.
That's right.
He
That's
didn't.
right.
Didn't.
Then gets in the league, faces a couple losses, starts to build, starts to understand things. Last year, he made a huge jump. I don't know the stats off the top of my head, but He went from average quarterback with probably lower half IQ just because he was new to last year producing solidly almost every single week. And he gets a bump in his wide receiver with Calvin Ridley, who at Atlanta,
I would know all too
alongside
well.
Julio, went for 1,300 yards.
1,300, 10 touchdowns. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got
So-
fresh legs.
He very fresh legs.
Yep.
And also a backup running back who can handle his share of the workload.
War Eagle baby.
Absolutely.
Tank Bigsby.
Absolutely.
Tank Bigsby. Yep.
Well, they also had that comeback win in the playoffs, so it shows you the resiliency that he has, and they have as a team because they went down 28-0,
27-0.
27-0 at halftime,
Yep.
and come back to win. Was that on the road? Or was that at home?
Who was that again?
That was at home.
Chargers.
That was at home. Division winner.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. That was a crazy game.
That was crazy.
And to add on to that, I would say he might have had the second worst coach in NFL history his first year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Would have taken first up until whatever Nathaniel Hackett cooked up in Denver because that was pretty piss poor.
that was pretty bad.
Yeah, kicking your kicker is not really ideal. So, yeah.
All right, who you got, Connor?
My next pick.
The 203.
I think I'm going to take the Vikings. No, Kirk Cousins has his issues, especially primetime games. But after that documentary,
It was pretty good.
I have all the confidence in the world.
Okay.
I think this is his year.
So, do you think that they replicate what they did last year with the 11 games of one score or more?
Wins.
Do you think? I mean, to me, if picking them is really difficult because I don't know that you can replicate a season like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they'll have a somewhat the same season, but I think they're going to win more important games, especially in the playoffs. What I'm hoping. I think they could potentially get to the NFC Championship. Will they win? I don't think so.
What impact do you think Dalvin not being there has?
That kind of like who's the starting quarter or start that's Matt
Madison.
Alexander
Yeah.
Matters.
He
I mean,
actually
he's
not too bad.
good.
He's not
I mean,
bad.
Cooks is. I don't know how do you replace Cook that quickly, especially Madison. He has to have a great year to even be what he did. But I think they won't have to use him as much as they'll need to, especially with JJ.
That's right. That's right.
Well, you got Justin
And then-
Jefferson,
yeah, and
Jordan Addison, Hawkinson.
Jordan Addison,
KJ
Hawkinson.
Osborne, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
KJ Osborne.
Yeah, 30.
Osborne.
I'd like to ask the panel. I know long term we like his prospects, but immediately, is Jordan Addison an upgrade over Adam Thielen?
Currently,
Yes.
Yes.
I say no.
Okay.
So what did he do last year? Actually, no. Was he
Thielen
hurt?
didn't do much last year.
My thing about Thielen was his knowledge. He's been in the league for so long. He has the knowledge to get open whenever, let's say, JJ's getting doubled. I think I would rather have Thielen doing that one-on-one because he has proven he has the track record. He's smart. He still has the speed. He has the ability to catch the ball. I think Jordan Addison being a rookie, it brings its own question marks. I'm not saying he's not a freak athlete or anything like that because I've seen a couple of his preseason one-on-ones and they look nice.
Well, I think even with less opportunities, saying that Thielen gets open more often, even with less opportunities, I think his run after catch is going to be his bread and butter. While he may not be able to get as open as Thielen was able to get just with his know-how and knowing how to play defensive backs, I think if you can get the ball into his hands, even if it is limited, I still think he has a pretty good year. And I'm a little biased because I get him on my fantasy team, but
And bringing up leadership, one has to wonder not only the 11 one-score wins, but you're taking Dalvin away. You're also taking another leader and Adam Thielen away. I think that hurts him a little bit. Maybe this year, instead of winning half those games, they win maybe 4 or 5. So
is Harrison Smith still there?
Defensive
safety.
Yeah.
I believe so.
I think so.
I want to say
I'm not
I saw
100%
him
though.
he got cut or moved or something. I can't remember.
Really?
Definitely not.
I could be wrong.
I don't think.
Well, depending on the contract situation, they could have looked to do it, but I could be wrong.
Still at the Vikings.
Okay, cool. Well,
That's good.
that's good. Good
Very
sign.
good.
All right. So I'm up at the 204.
Yes.
A lot of good teams on the board. A lot of good teams. Can't argue against history, though. I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens. I think they have a great coach, dynamic quarterback, best kicker in the league. Y'all can laugh, but that makes a difference. Picked up some
Second
nice weapons in the offseason. One in Zay Flowers, who's really been showing out in camp. I think that opens up the passing game a little bit more. And if we can just get one healthy year out of J.K. Dobbins, that's big.
So who's their wideouts? Bateman,
Bateman, Zay Flowers,
OBJ.
You got
and then you
Andrews
got
at tight end.
Andrews.
Mike, and you got Andrews that you tied in.
Yeah.
Talk about one healthy year. What about one healthy year of Rashad Bateman?
Both of which on my fantasy team, but we'll skip right over that one. Yeah, so I like them. It's going to be a tough division, though. I mean, the Bengals are already off the board, so you think they'd have to be the favorite. But, and then for 301, I'm debating between two teams here, and as much as I think they're overrated every single year, haven't won a championship since 1995, I will take the Dallas Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
I will take
Let's
the Dallas
go.
Cowboys. I think Tony Pollard takes a big step, increased workload. I think Deuce Vaughn's one to have an eye kept on him. Huge secondary upgrades. I know you can speak more to that. And I love Brandon Cooks as the wide receiver, too.
So you go and get Stephon Gilmore for a 5th round pick, I think.
It was
and you
something
have
low.
Deron Bland coming off a 6 interception season as a rookie. So he goes from having to cover the Jordan Addisons and the Jalen Waddles and the T. Higgins of the world to now he's guarding the third guy on your team. And so I think that gives more opportunities for Trevon Diggs to ball hawk. And that gives Stephon Gilmore, he gets to be on Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, so Trevon can go out and do his thing and he's not getting gassed every play. And they can switch that around and play that how they want to.
Yeah.
I do think Tony Pollard being the go-to guy this year, I'm curious to see how that plays out because with him and Zeke, you always had the speed up, slow down, where you put Pollard in, you'd go out and have like big chunk yards, 10, 15-yard plays, and then you have Zeke go and get those short yardage touchdowns. I'm curious to see how not having somebody like Zeke for those short yardage situations and somebody who's not as much of a veteran as a running back, how that affects them.
Yeah. So, someone to lean on for sure.
But the defense is still great.
Can't argue with that. All right, Connor's up at the 302.
Let's see. I'm going to go with Seahawks.
Okay.
So, Geno, as we know, had a great year last year. No one was expecting that kind. Kenneth Walker did get hurt, but they did grab a really good running back in the draft, Charbonnet.
Sure did.
I feel like even if Walker gets hurt or Charbonnet, either one, I mean, either one of those are going to have a pretty good year. That'll help them. And then, especially another draft, Jackson Smith.
It's a good pick.
I think him added on with Tyler Lockett and DK, I mean, that just helps them even more.
I think that's an underrated trio of wideouts.
Oh, yeah. I think it's one of the best.
100%.
For sure. I mean, their division, obviously, they got to play the 49ers, which is a little concerning.
Get to beat up on the Cardinals and the Rams, though.
Exactly. The Cardinals suck. Rams, it could be a little better.
I was waiting for it.
Rams, you don't know. Cardinals, we'll say that. But, I'm just looking at their first 4 games. They're playing the Rams. As much as I do like the Rams, they will lose. They play the Lions, which Lions are pretty good. But I think they're a little overrated. So the Seahawks would win that. Panthers, I think they win that. And then Giants, I think they beat the Giants too. So I think they start off a good 4-0, which will just carry on to the rest of their season. So I think they'll have a great year.
I want to say, is Tyler Lockett the best, not third option, but third wide receiver in the league? Some would say he's not even third, but
I
JSN,
don't think he is third. I think he's 2 until Jackson
until he shows
proves
us.
otherwise, which
Yeah.
I think he has the talent to do.
100%.
But I don't think I could say right now that he's the third option.
So is there a better third receiver than JSN?
So
Just off the top of my head, the only person I could see being a argument would be Quentin Johnson out of the Chargers.
Yeah.
a little bit older and more veteran, and I'm not saying that he's going to be as good, but when you have 3 wideouts and you got to spread the ball around, I'm curious to see what Michael Gallup
Oh, I
does
knew you were saying that.
as
dude.
the
Yeah.
third guy.
Bringing the Cowboys into it, guys.
It's not.
Get a load of that.
I mean, he's solid.
He's a solid third guy, especially when you have Brandon Cooks coming in. We assume he's going to take over the role too, which I mean he's got to.
Yeah.
1,000 yards with Davis Mills that's not an easy thing to
Pretty
do.
remarkable. Yeah.
All right, Nick, who you got, man?
Is this 3.3?
3.3.
Yep.
All right. The team I'm going to choose are some dogs. They fight. I saw a video of the coach talking about how they will take a punch to the face, go down to the ground, come up, bite the guy's kneecap.
Wouldn't you
Get back
prefer
up
not
with
to
this.
get punched?
He said, then punch twice in the face, get knocked down on the way up, take out the other kneecap, and just keep going.
Kind of gruesome and graphic.
I'm doing the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
The darlings of the
Wow.
off season. Wow.
I think they're a little overrated coming into the season.
100%. 100%.
That's not to say that they can't go out and get 10 wins, but everyone's talking about them like they're going to win the division.
What was their record last year? Anyone know?
Yes.
9.
No, I don't.
8-9, right?
8-9, I think.
They were 8-9. Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean they did well last year.
Do you think Goff will have a good year?
I think he will. I don't know. I think he's gonna be an average quarterback. Him and Amon St. Brown have a great connection.
9-8, just for the
9
record.
and 8.
No, there we go.
So I think they can get one more win.
500.
Yeah, they can do it. I mean, DeAndre Swift, he was hurt a couple games last year, and they had to really depend on Jamal Williams, who was more known for his short yardage situations.
So who did they depend on this year now that both of those guys are gone?
Oh, David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift.
baby.
Ooh,
Or not
David
DeAndre
Montgomery.
Swift.
Jamar Gibbs.
Jamar Gibbs. Jamar Gibbs is going to be a PPR machine. PPR machine.
Feeling good about
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, I feel great
feeling
about
good.
it.
I wonder why.
And then David Montgomery, who's also probably going to get a bunch of touches around the goal line or
that.
3rd and 1 situations. I think it's going to be great. Hopefully, Jamison Williams can come back after 6 games and
I thought he's suspended for gambling.
6 games.
6 games?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
No, you're good. And hopefully he can come back and prove why he was a first round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An early one.
Yeah.
I think he's had has he only had like one catch?
One catch.
And it was a touchdown.
Yes.
It's pretty good. I mean, hey, as he's a former Alabama, I do like him. I don't know. He's just been with injuries and then off the field issues. I don't know. I hope he does well. I just don't have the confidence in him.
I could see Jahmyr Gibbs having a Najee type first year with the utilization, getting a lot of touches running the ball, and then as many touches in the passing game as well, short yardage passing game.
I think the passing game could be similar, but I don't think the rushing is going to be the same.
So you think he gets 300 plus touches in his rookie year with David Montgomery sitting there?
Not 300 plus touches, but I could see them using him more than they would use a traditional running back, a rookie running back.
I'd say
I think that's crazy.
loaded mid 200s. Loaded mid 200s.
Wow.
Average maybe 10 rushes each game and then 5-6 catches every game. I think that's very doable.
So do you think he's going to be the 3-down back, or do you think Montgomery?
I
Or do you
think
think they're just running back by committee?
Yeah.
it's going to be a running back by committee. There's no way around it after paying David Montgomery the contract he got for 4 years and then trading up to get Jahmyr Gibbs at the 12th pick.
Well, and David Montgomery or Jamar Gibbs, either way you cut it, is a better backup running back than Benny Snell was for the Steelers.
Yeah.
So I can
Agree
see a
with
point there, but we'll see how that plays out.
We got Drew at the 304.
Back-to-back picks. I'm gonna go with the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. I think it's it's a tough call because it's either they get 13 wins or they get 13 losses, and I'm not sure there's much of an in between.
Yeah.
I think 13 losses might be a stretch. Maybe like 10. But I agree.
So they've got They're 3 deep at running back, legitimately. They
2.
you don't like Michael Carter?
We know you do.
Yeah, I got to.
I don't know. His rookie
Selfishly.
year didn't improve all that much, and they drafted Brees the year following, and then they just picked up Dalvin Cook. So,
I'm not saying that that shows that they have any faith in him at all. I just think he's the most talented guy in the 3rd string spot
Okay.
on an NFL roster.
Whoa.
As a running back?
You said just most talented in 3rd string spot. I mean, we
3rd
were
string
talking
right
about,
back.
we was talking
is
about
what I mean.
JSN.
No.
Okay. We can edit that out. Lord.
Keep it in. Keep it in.
All right, and then with my next pick, I'm going with the Dolphins. I think they have a the chance of the top 5 offense this year if Tua stays healthy.
I like
What
it.
Even
if-
if he is a little pudgy.
What
Ryan
if Tua
Clark.
does get hurt?
All right.
What do you think happens? Who's the backup?
That is a great
It
question.
used,
Mike
to be
White.
Teddy, right?
Oh,
Now-
yeah, Mike White.
Oh,
Mike
wow.
White.
Ooh.
Okay.
That is interesting. So was it Teddy Bridgewater last year?
Yeah, it was Teddy.
So
And then Thompson, excuse me.
Yeah.
I think he's an upgrade over Teddy Bridgewater at this point in Teddy's career, which he's in Detroit now.
Yep.
So I even if he does go down, I don't know that they're as big a threat in the AFC, but I do think that they're still potentially a playoff team.
Yeah.
I don't know. He supposedly did some mixed martial arts
Mike
of
White?
some sort. No, Tua.
To
Learn how to fall correctly, so
he doesn't go like
to
this
helpful prevent him from
Get
getting
it one more time
hurt.
for the camera.
again. Nah, I'm good.
Okay, a couple AFC East picks right there. Nick, what you got for us?
With the 4-4,
Don't do it to me.
you know,
Don't do it to me.
we're gonna go out to LA,
You got one team in mind.
and we know which LA team I'm not.
Please pick the
picking.
Rams. Pick the Rams.
I'm going with the Chargers.
Good pick.
Justin Herbert has proved himself with the yardage, the touchdowns. I think he is a top 3 in yardage and touchdowns within the first year, second year, and
I think he's pushing to
third?
be 1. Actually,
pushing 1. And now, hopefully with a healthy Keenan, hopefully, which
Williams.
Mike Williams has proved to be able to be a wide receiver 1 in certain weeks. And then also
only when Keenan's healthy, actually, which is weird. With him being out, you'd expect Mike Williams to take a step forward, but it seems every time that he's out and he's getting the number 1 guy on the defense, he just kind of crumbles.
right.
But if Keenan's healthy, I think that 1-2 is pretty good.
And then you also have a rookie wide receiver who is part of the top trio with Quentin Johnston.
Yeah.
And let's not leave out RB1 Austin Eckler.
So what do you think new OC Kellen Moore brings?
I've seen that it's his play style will allow Herbert to throw the long ball a little bit more. And I think that's going to be great, spreading it out. Because honestly, all 3 of those wide receivers can be a deep ball guy.
Oh yeah.
Johnston's going to have the speed just because he's a little younger. Keenan has the sharp routes. And then Mike just is
Freak of nature.
6'4", super athletic. And if they can spread it out and push those deep balls, then they're just going to open up room for Austin Eckler. So,
I can see them having a pretty good year.
yeah.
I just mentioned Gerald Everett as the 5th option.
I mean, that's
Could be worse.
pretty good option.
Could be worse.
Oh, my next.
Yes, sir.
Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Giants. Now, so I think this year, I think in one of my fantasy teams, I have Saquon. You know, he's had his, contract issues, as many running backs have.
Yep.
I think he proves himself really well this year, even better than last year. What was his stats last year? Anyone know on top of their head?
Not off the top of my head.
I'm thinking of fantasy reasons, but I think him and I feel like people are still, they don't think Daniel Jones is that good. I mean, as. What are you shaking your head, man?
Well, he just got
Cowboy lover?
He got absolutely overpaid in the offseason.
Oh, my God. What was his contract?
So some would call him Danny
He
Dollars.
got
Ridiculous.
Did he get 10.8? Or sorry,
So he got
Saquon.
Yeah.
just for he's getting paid $40 million a year. Think about that for a second.
Oh, he's a quarterback.
In New York.
He can pass.
Yeah.
He's in New York. He can pass. He can run.
Oh yeah, he
Running
almost had that
quarterbacks.
like 80-yard rushing touchdown, right?
Turf monster.
And then he
I think 2-3 years ago, wasn't it?
And how many playoff wins does he have?
It was still. Is it 0?
what wide receivers has he had?
Darius Slayton, baby. He got Darren Waller last year at the trade deadline.
How many playoffs does the Cowboys have?
Well, it's just one. It's more than that. It's more than zero.
For the how
cry
many in the
over there.
past year? You know,
Hey man.
how many years?
How long you been alive for? Yeah.
All right, let's not go down
Been a
this road,
minute.
Mr.
All right.
Falcons.
I think the
Come
new
on,
head
man.
coach over the Giants, they had him last year. I think he's, a great addition. He'll even perform better than this year. I think they get 12 wins. I really do. I looked through the schedule. I think that's their max. I think that's their height.
Okay.
I think they can get that height. I think they'll split 1-1 with the Cowboys.
Talking about me doing hot takes.
Oh, just wait.
Giants
Just
with
wait.
12 wins.
In that division.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
That means you got to beat either the Cowboys or the Eagles twice, pretty much. And I
You
don't
can lose
see.
the Cowboys twice.
Huh?
You can lose the Cowboys twice.
And still get 12 wins?
Are they beating the Eagles twice?
Yes.
No, I mean what I mean is they're losing the Eagles twice. They're gonna
Oh,
beat the
okay.
Cowboys once, and they got to play 49ers twice.
No, Washington.
Washington
Washington.
twice.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
I think they beat Washington.
I think I had their loss. I think maybe
we
the
split it.
Bills because they play the Bills, right?
Could.
Do the Giants play the Bills? Am I messing up that?
I don't know off the top of
Yeah,
my
they
head.
do. So I think they'll lose to the Bills. I mean, lose. I think they lose. They could win one Eagles, but I don't know. I'm not really. I just think they'll split the Cowboys, losing the 49ers, so that's 4 losses. Lose both games to the Eagles, lose one of the Cowboys. If they split one of the Eagles, then that's Eagles, Cowboys, Bills, 49ers. I think that's their.
I could see them losing a game to Washington on the road. I could see
Yeah,
them
that's-
just throwing a game. Daniel Jones having an off night. Sam Howell having the game of his life.
I think I'm not against Sam Howell, but that's just
12
what
wins,
I think.
okay.
I don't know, man.
Giants.
Getting a potential
max.
12-win team
He
at
said
the
max.
403
He
is
did
a
say
pretty
max.
sweet
He said
deal to
max.
me.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys at
I
home
did
paid
at the
attention,
4.2.
there's one division that has not been picked, and that is my favorite division. I will take the New Orleans Saints. As much as it pains me, I think
Ahead of the Falcons.
far and away the best quarterback in the division. It's a quarterback league. Improved defense. I think Olave takes a huge step this year. Kamara's only suspended 3 games instead of what was rumored to be 6 or 7. I like the addition of Kendra Miller. And it's just a matter of they have the potential to win the division at 10 games. I think getting that in the last spot in the 4th round, not a bad deal.
Not bad at all.
You think Michael plays a good bit this year? Doesn't get hurt?
I don't think it matters.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
curious.
I think it does.
Yeah.
It could spread out the defense for Chris Olave.
Okay.
That could help
Take
him
some
out a
pressure
lot.
off him.
Because if Thomas isn't out there, who's the second option?
He did thrive without that last
The running back.
Taysom Hill.
But yeah,
year. Hey.
So
He
I'm
did.
actually,
he did.
I actually think that the Falcons win that division.
Yeah, I'm surprised at the
Surprisingly.
Atlanta Hawks fat.
I could see them getting 9-10 wins and winning the division.
Okay.
With that running game, you have a 1,000-yard rusher in Algier, and then you only add to that getting Bijan. You get a full offseason with Desmond Ritter, with Art. What's his last name? Art Smith. So
Arthur Smith,
Arthur
yeah.
Smith. I could see them taking a step forward from last year because they were 8-9 last year.
Yep.
I could see them getting a game or 2 over what they did last year, because Desmond Ritter I think is going to have a better season than Mariota had last year. I think it would be hard for him to play any worse.
I agree.
You might want to calm it down because they're still on the board. Someone could take him from you.
They also got some defensive key players, right?
Jesse Bates, Calais Campbell, just to name a couple.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Calais Campbell's. I mean, not that he's not talented, but he's been everywhere.
He's 35-36.
Yeah,
He's still
but
killing it.
still killing it.
So at the turn, I'm going to take the team that hasn't had a losing record in 18 seasons. Pretty easy. Here in the middle of the draft, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
new year or another year with Kenny Pickett and George Pickens. I think that's going to be a nice little connection there. I think they're going to split the work a little more between Najee and Jalen Warren. Deontay Johnson's not a bad first option to have. I think Pickens could eventually take that role. And Freiermuth is a nice up-and-coming tight end, not to mention that defense with one T.J. Watt.
And Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. So I'll take them in the first pick of the
I
fifth
think it's a
round.
solid pick.
It is a solid pick.
All right, Bobby, what you got?
Might be the best pick in the draft right here.
Ooh. Is it those Falcons we were just talking about? No.
Oh no, baby. It's the Rams.
Oh.
Gotta scroll all the way down.
Explain.
For that. Yeah.
Give me a
Explain.
healthy Cup.
Okay.
Matthew Stafford. I know he's coming off injury. Has some issues with some young teammates. That's not a big deal. Sean McVay is one of my favorite coaches, just because. I mean, I know they had a really bad season. They had Baker Mayfield at one point. That's tough. How many wins did they get last year? Like 4,
5, maybe?
maybe 4 or
I think it was
5.
5 and 12.
I think they could get 7 or 8. I know the division is tough. They'll lose most of those. I get that. Well, the Cardinals, no, they'll win both of those. I mean, Tyler Higbee, I think, is going to have a great year. I really do. Defense, I know their defense does kind of suck, but with Aaron Donald there, I think that just helps, my confidence.
Little leadership.
I just think it's a great pick right there. I really do.
A great
And-
pick.
Like your confidence.
I think it's bold.
Like the
I think
confidence.
it's bold.
Everything's bold, man.
I think it's horrible, but if you like the pick, then we'll rock with the pick.
All right.
So what is this? The
5.3. We've been talking about this team a lot recently.
Don't do it to me.
I don't know. Someone has it. That's right.
And it's crazy because y'all didn't even bring up a good point. Kyle Pitts being healthy.
Who are you telling, man?
I'm choosing the Atlanta Falcons.
There it is.
How many touchdowns does he have in his first 2 years?
I'm sorry.
Coach doesn't want
matter?
to throw the ball, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the question I asked, Reese. How many touchdowns did he have in the first 2 years?
Well, I had a mobile quarterback last year, so and 13 deep attempts by Marcus Mariota, 2 Kyle Pitts. Only 1 was catchable and 1 was caught one-handed, I might add.
For a touchdown?
Well, no. When he, come on, man. He was catching touchdowns. They'd have 10 wins, but
So 2 touchdowns in 2 years.
Both his rookie year,
again,
I think.
second all-time. what was
Fact-checking
it?
time.
Second best rookie tight end season ever. Yeah, behind one Mike Ditka. No, not bad.
Wow.
How about the
Not
Cowboys?
And they also have Drake London.
Mike Ditka.
You're really reaching for that, huh? On the Bears?
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
He coached for the Bears. He played for the Cowboys. Where's your head at?
You can edit that out. Thanks.
No, he's right.
No, I know. Say edit it out. Yeah, I know. Hey,
Leave
Come
it
on,
in.
man.
Leave
takes my
it in.
credibility away.
Leave it in there.
So 3 touchdowns. I will give him the credit that he is well deserved. 1,000 yards receiving as a rookie,
Tight end.
tight end, 1,000 yards receiving.
And that was with no Julio, no Calvin, nothing. No Drake,
Cordero
no
Patterson.
Tyler Algier. Yeah.
Which, was that Cordell's really good year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Mike Davis was there?
Exactly. Mike
backup?
Davis was there. Yep.
Yeah, that's...
Tough break.
Yeah, that was...
They also got a pretty good kicker. No Justin Tucker, but pretty good kicker.
Youngway?
Yeah.
And you got Im Young Ho. I'll take it.
Yeah. You would say that.
Shit, I gotta cut out.
Leave it in.
Leave
Yeah, leave it in.
That's what she said.
Oh! All right, now we can
That's fair. All right, bring it back to earth. Maybe
Take the shine off me, please. Yeah.
I don't know that this is bringing it back to earth, but we'll see. I'm curious to see what the Patriots do this year. Curious so much so that I'm gonna pick them. To be honest, couldn't tell you why. It's
'Cause
better than the Titans.
Tell you why.
Juju.
Very confident about his
Better than the Titans. I could see them outperforming the Bears this year.
Whoa! That's... Okay.
Outperforming the Bears is getting 6. It
outperforming
could be
the
getting
Bears.
6 wins or more.
Who's that one?
The
Patriots.
Patriots.
Wow. Okay.
I said I could see them. That's not. It's not definite.
You just don't seem
No,
very
I
confident
can
with
see
that pick.
anything.
We know the real reason. It's because
It's
Zeke's,
Zeke's
there.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just gonna be the
Talking about a
downfall.
homer pick.
It's downfall. Man.
Well, and Bill Belichick.
You know they only have
good
one
head coach.
quarterback now. They released everybody but Mac Jones.
Yeah, they got rid of
Why?
Bailey
They beat
Zapp?
Zappy.
Yeah.
Zappy.
Yeah.
Are they
and
bringing
Lee
back
Cunningham.
TB12?
They got
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was like, why would they do that? I mean, that's a
TB12.
TB12 out
play.
of retirement for the Pats. I could
good
see it.
athletic man. I love Mac Jones. I think he'll have a good year, but I mean, I don't know. I think the Patriots they'll miss playoffs. I think.
So that's the first half of the turn. I'm terrified to see who you're taking next. If we're going down this road.
Well, who we got?
Are we going
We
down
got-
this road?
Broncos country. Let's ride. I think it's hard to repeat what Nathaniel Hackett did to the Broncos. He took a Hackett to the Broncos and their offense. So I think this year, huh? I don't know.
That was nice.
When you get a competent head coach, more than competent head coach, Super Bowl winning head coach, I think you get a healthy Javonte Williams. Unfortunately, you lose Jerry Jeudy for a few weeks, so Cortland Sutton's got to be your guy. But you got a solid defense with one of the best corners in the league,
Patrick Surtain.
Patrick Surtain. I think they could surprise people. I think they're definitely going to do better than 5 wins. I don't know that's going to be 10 or 11 or 12, but I could see them scratching out 9 wins this season.
In that division, huh?
I think it's possible. I think it may take a lot, but I think Sean Payton and I think a bounce back year from Russell Wilson could do it.
I am concerned as a Javonte Williams fan, contrary to popular belief, that Adrian Peterson kind of set in motion back in 2012. Easy to recover from an ACL. Running backs typically produce the most their second year after returning. So I think this could be one of those deals where they get Samaje Perine kind of divided up in a committee, and then we see the best version of Javonte in 2024. But there's always outliers. So
We could see.
let's ride.
Let's ride.
All right, Nick, who you got?
Well, I've got to say that I like them better than both these past 2 picks. I'm going to do the Tennessee Titans because of Derrick Henry. This man can literally carry a whole NFL franchise. He's been their whole team the past 7 years.
Yeah.
Maybe -1 whenever he was hurt, but he has been the focal point, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. And as long as he's healthy, they will produce and be a 500. And if their quarterback play is good, with
They got 3 of them.
yes,
Yeah.
Competent, we'll see.
So
but
I'd say when you have more than one, you have none. But
upgraded wide receivers with D Hop, who can help take some pressure away from possibly Treylon Burks.
he's got a lot of it. So yeah.
Yeah. So I feel confident with that.
And they are only 2 years removed from an ASC championship game.
True.
So
That's true. Yeah.
if they can replicate that, I mean, they got most of the core pieces still there with Tannehill, with Henry, obviously. So that would have been AJ Brown's last year at the Titans.
Yep.
So it's not an upgrade, but I mean, it's in the ballpark of AJ Brown with DeAndre Hopkins. So I can see that. I can see them having a pretty good year.
A little less dynamic, little more
Consistent.
consistent. Yeah.
I can see that.
You know, he can get those mid-short routes
Yeah.
every time.
He may not have as many home run balls, but he'll have the intermediate with some run after catch
Yeah.
chances. All right, Connor, who you got?
I think this team will do better than what they're projected. I don't know what their over and under wins is, but the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Roshan Johnson.
I think Fields has a great year. I don't know
hope so.
how great. I think it's a good rushing year. I hope his passing gets better, especially with DJ Moore. I think that helps him tremendously.
And Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
And
He's
Darnell
there.
Mooney.
And Darnell
And
Mooney.
Cole Kmet, who got a big contract.
Did he
I
really?
like Cole Kmet. We'll see.
I think 50 mil for 4 years.
Are we just not going to mention Foreman?
Yeah, he was good.
Why not, man?
I also think I think a big
Eric
part.
Foreman? What?
I think there's been a curse on the Bears. For
I
the
think they'd be
longest
better
time.
off with Red Foreman.
The curse
Is it
has
Bruiser?
been
Aaron Rodgers.
Stick your foot up your ass.
Aaron Rodgers leaving the Packers is the best thing that's happened to the Bears in a long, long time.
Well, because he owned him. I mean,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I can see the Bears. I've looked at the schedule. They can get 10 wins. They can get it. Will it happen? I don't know. If you look at their schedule, it's very, very possible.
With that division, Jordan Love's good for about an interception a game. So
Yeah.
he'll
Packers,
He'll
yeah.
he'll beat Dak out in most interceptions.
You got Lions. I think they split.
year.
Panthers in the building.
I think they split a game with the Lions. Lions, I think, are good. They'll win one game for sure. I hope not to, but it's very possible. I mean, they
It'd be
played. I know they
tough
played the
series.
Cardinals, so Cardinals they suck.
Why are you looking at me? But okay.
Kyler.
And Kyler Murray. Man. Did you drop Kyler Murray?
Nope. No, IR.
Oh, that's tough. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you look at their schedule, they play the Packers, win. Buccaneers, win.
2 wins.
Chiefs, skip.
Are we sure the Packers is a win with that defense? Nice running game. Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs.
They could do.
Aaron Jones.
They could win the home game. They could win the home game.
It's a home game at the Bears to start off the season. They win that game.
Okay,
That'd be beautiful,
specify
yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bears go into Lambeau and win.
No.
No.
No chance.
What,
I think it'll be
especially
close.
depending.
Without Aaron Rodgers, I think they can do it.
Well, I was gonna say depending on what year it's cold, but it's also cold in Chicago, so
It's always cold in Chicago.
Yep.
that's really
So,
washed there.
I mean, if you keep going, like, after the Chiefs, like, the Broncos, I mean, I think they can win that, depending on how the Broncos are. I mean, I know you like the Broncos, but
Mile high,
I don't
baby.
think they're going to be that good again.
Mile high,
I think
baby. They can't
Russell
hang.
Wilson's done. He's,
At
the Commanders,
elevation.
the Commanders, I'm not really sure about. I think they beat the Commanders unless Sam Howell just is a god for some reason.
We keep bringing up Sam Howell.
I know.
What is he
I
gonna
don't
do
like
this
it, yeah.
year?
He's a hit and miss. I don't know. Vikings they'll lose. Raiders, I don't know.
50-50.
50-50, yeah. I think they can win. Chargers, I think they lose. Saints win. Panthers win. Lions, that's
little
1
fast.
in
You're just
50.
rolling
That's a
through,
little fast
dude.
on the
Win,
Saints.
win.
That's why I picked them, man.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna say lost, and just pick them. Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard that he said
getting
Saints so
defensive over
fast
here,
when the
huh?
Saints were picked
Oh.
so much earlier than them.
Okay.
Well, there's the Falcons. That's even a quicker win. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's, I
Even
don't see that.
that's even quicker.
outrageous.
There's
Not
the
even my
Cardinals. That's
team,
a
but I don't
win.
see
The
that.
Browns. Unless Deshaun. I mean, I
Outrageous.
don't think Deshaun has a good year, so I think no Browns. I think it's gonna be close. I think they can win that, so that can add on to the win total. And then the Packers is the last game of the year, which will be cold at Lambeau. It depends on how the situation is and injuries and all that, but I think that'll be a close game. But they can get, like, I'm projecting they'll get 7, 8 around there, but they could get 10. Will it happen? We'll just have to see.
I could give them 7,
I'll be fine with 7.
Okay.
maybe.
There was a certain quarterback mentioned there briefly as Connor just took them as a loss against the Bears for whatever reason. Your local massage man, Deshaun Watson.
Oof.
I will take the Cleveland Brownies.
Brownies.
I think there's a chance, might be a long shot, that he returns to top 5 quarterback status. Great defense. They just got rid of Kareem Hunt, which further instills confidence in Nick Chubb. He's been carrying the team. I think he can continue to do that as a rushing leader. I like the dynamic addition of Elijah Moore. Trying to think. They had a rookie.
Cedric Tillman.
Cedric
out of
Tillman.
Tennessee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Njoku had a really good year last year. I think he keeps that up. But if Deshaun can play well, I don't see why they can't win 9 games. And to get them in the third to last round, I really like that.
I think they have high upside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm not against
A
it.
lot of downside, but we're taking swings here.
Deshaun Watson has to get back to what he was, being masseuse.
Yeah. And that was
During-
I think he's a little too relaxed.
No, during
During
masseuse. My
masseuse.
bad. During masseuse. He needs his
Yeah.
massages back, just with consent.
yeah.
Big consent guy.
Big consent.
full
I'm a
consent around
big
here,
consent.
okay? Touch gesture. Yeah. Okay.
Cut.
Second to last round, I'll take the Carolina Panthers. I think again, shit division. Nice quarterback coming in. Bryce Young. Some would say he's undersized. I would say he has an it factor. I like the addition of DJ Chark.
Yep.
Adam Thielen. Terrace Marshall could have a role, could not. It's kind of hit or miss. He did well at LSU, but it's yet to be seen at the NFL level. I think Miles Sanders is another good pickup for them. They've had a good defense. I think they'll keep that up. So I give them about a 25% chance to win the division. I think with the Saints leading that, Falcons close behind. But to get them in the 7th round, I can't hate it. So
Who's the 4th team in that division?
Bucks.
Yeah. Now you don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Unless Baker just goes off.
Which
Which I would be happy about, but I also don't think will happen. Just you never. I love Baker Mayfield.
he also has weapons this year.
Chris, yeah, he does. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans,
Rashad
Rashad White,
Rashad White.
Who's their tight end? Nobody.
Is OJ Howard still there?
Otten.
No, he's
I don't know if he's the starter.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about their tight end that much.
What are you talking about?
So, what do you think of Bryce Young's debut? Do you think it comes close to one Cam Newton and his NFL debut?
Absolutely not. No chance. Do you?
No. Just playing devil's advocate here.
Calm down, decline, brother.
I just want to see how crazy you really were.
Oh no, I'm crazy. It's the guy picking Bears to win 10,
And the
Giants to win
Rams.
12. So
Okay, Dalton.
Watch the season,
I
man.
had to
Watch
test
it.
you, brother. Yeah.
Can't wait to see it happen.
So you're talking about the Bucks. Are you taking them with your next pick? Who you got?
Who I got? Did you pick the Panthers?
I did. Sure did. Sorry.
Okay, the Bucks is more of like I have hope in them. Will they win? No, but I just hope. In my dreams.
Okay. Wow.
This
is a hope
one's an
podcast.
interesting pick because Jonathan Taylor has his issues.
Yeah.
I have picked a lot of NFC teams, so I
tissues, man.
I really want to go. Sorry, Drew. I want to go AFC. I was looking at the Raiders, but I think Anthony Richardson has a great year.
Okay.
I really do.
I love
I think
that.
he has a good wide receiving core with Pittman, Pierce, Downs. Yeah. I think Downs. If they throw it to him, he'll have to be good. Pittman's good. Who's their backup running back? Moss,
I think
Hall.
Evan Hall. Is it Moss?
He's one of them. They got like 4 of them.
I think
Yeah,
Moss
Hull-
is supposed to.
And Hull's a rookie, so
Hull's
he's
a
going to be
rookie.
backup. So, I mean, I haven't looked at his schedule until about a couple picks earlier. But I just think Anthony Richardson, if he is the quarterback we hope he runs, I think missing Jonathan Taylor does suck, even though the last year he did have injuries and all that. Missing Jonathan Taylor that's a whole thing. I don't agree with that. But I think if Anthony Richardson is who he says he is, as in Himothy, then I think he has a pretty good year. I mean, I'm picking him my second last pick, so I don't think he's going to get, 8, 10 wins or anything like that. But I just think out of the teams, and I want AFC, I think he'll do better than the Raiders. So
I think
going
they
Colts.
I think they could be a wild card. I think if Anthony Richardson balls out and I don't know that anybody expects him to ball out, but if he comes out and has a really good year, I could see them getting 7-8 wins.
Yeah, that's why
But
I'm
that's
hoping.
that's peak. That's peak.
We like Pete.
But if 8 wins for a Colts team and you can build off that and going into the next year, I don't know that you re-sign Jonathan Taylor with all that's happened, but
No, bridges have been burned
Yeah. Oh, no.
over there.
but if you come out with a 7-8 win season with that roster,
Oh yeah.
I think
yeah.
that you're happy with that going into the next season.
For sure.
Little background on Richardson. So we're talking about a coach that led, and granted, talent is a big part and work ethic and whatnot, but coach that had Justin Herbert brought him to what he is. Jalen Hurts brought him to what he is. Something that people, the casual fan, might not know is that Anthony Richardson's not really a design runner. He kind of just runs when he has to. There's not really many plays drawn up for him. So if you look at the stats of Florida, the rushing yards aren't going to be there. But obviously with his combine measurements, I mean, he can do it if he wants to. So, but the Jonathan Taylor situation, if bridges are burned, and I think that takes a couple wins from him. I think he's more important to that offense than other running backs. Many other running backs are to theirs. So just kind of a wait and see.
All right, who's up next?
Got Nicholas.
It is me with 7.3, I think.
Sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds
Go with
good.
it.
Yeah, beautiful.
One of my breakout candidates
Oh no.
for their sophomore year.
Oh, don't do it.
We going John Dotson here? Where we going?
Christian Watson.
Oh, my
Okay,
gosh.
Christian Watson.
How was the fluke against the Cowboys? We were just playing terrible.
Oh,
3
okay.
touchdowns? Come on, man.
Who was the
Whatever.
quarterback during that game? His
I'm
rookie year?
sorry. I think there are current
Rodgers.
Green Bay Packers.
Quarter.
I was not asking like a legit question.
I thought you were getting offensive over
Before that, it was Brett Favre. Bart Starr.
There have been quotes of Packer players now who have said Jordan Love is a future Hall of Famer.
Well, of course they're gonna say.
Can
it.
I ask
What
what
are they gonna say? He sucks.
I can look it up for
I
you
don't trust
later.
anybody.
I can look it up for you.
We'll
I
save
don't-
it. We'll
I
save
don't
it.
trust what the team says.
So
Oh, he's the
nobody-
greatest
okay.
guy ever.
So
What the heck?
I think he has a bright future. This year, don't really know.
Gotta get more high pitched for that.
There you go.
But the backfield with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, one of the probably top 5 running back duos, I would say.
I like Dillon.
You get a bruiser with AJ Dillon, and then you have a playmaker with Aaron Jones. Only downside to Green Bay is the inexperience of the wide receivers. You got Christian Watson, who's a second year, but only played half the games last year.
Thereabouts. Thereabouts.
Yeah. Romeo Dobbs, who is also a second year. I really don't even know who the
honestly
third wide
couldn't tell
receiver
you.
I was
is.
gonna say taking Alan Lazard away, I think it's gonna open up some opportunities.
That's true. A lot more spread of targets around. And then their offensive line, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Along with the defense.
I'm
So,
curious who was getting the number 1 corner last year, if it was Lazard or Watson. Because if it was Lazard and you're throwing Watson into having to be covered by the best corners in the league, I don't know how that plays for him, especially with Aaron Rodgers out of the picture.
I think starting off the season, they're not gonna be lining up the number 1 corner on someone for the against Green Bay.
There's
I
no
think
need
it's
to, I don't think.
I think it's gonna be something that is developed if one of the guys becomes a wide receiver 1.
I think they honestly try and stack the box. If Jordan,
Wrong sport, bud.
yeah, no.
Jordan Love.
Yeah, if he struggles passing the ball and they have to use Aaron Jones more than they want to, I think they stack the box and just try and shut down the run.
I like that. Put all the pressure on the quarterback to make the plays.
But
Which-
he does have a quarterback that will work with him in the offseason, unlike last year. So that's an added benefit.
It's fair.
All right.
On to Drew.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders. You get
The Raiders.
the Raiders.
Okay.
You get a top 5 running back.
Mm-hmm.
You get a top 5 wideout.
Mm-hmm.
You get Jimmy Garoppolo in a new situation, which I think the change of scenery could be good for him.
Oh, Vegas, Jimmy. He's taking the edge off, man. Come on now.
He's really relaxed, more relaxed than Deshaun
Wow,
Watson.
he is
That's saying
100%
something.
Chilling at Caesars, you kidding me?
So I think they could have. I think they could have a pretty good year. They got the best kicker in the league. Just throwing
That's
that out
just
there.
false, but carry
Throwing
on.
that out there. Daniel Carlson,
Exactly.
153
The guy on
fantasy
this podcast
points.
doesn't
War Eagle,
even know
baby.
who it is.
War Eagle,
Yeah.
baby. But I think that I think Devontae Adams has another good year with a better quarterback than Derek Carr.
What about Renfro? What do you think about him?
I mean,
Is he the 2 or the
yeah,
3?
that was my next
I
question.
think
Is
he's
he 2 or
3.
3?
I think he's 3.
I agree.
I think he's better at 3.
Who's the
honestly,
2?
I think 2's too much. for
Kobe
him.
Myers.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the Patriots.
I think 3
interesting.
is. I think Renfro's going to be better than last year, especially with he had injuries. But I think him as the 3rd is just. I think it's just better for him. It suits him better.
So, do y'all agree that Jimmy is better than Derek Carr?
I don't.
I don't know. I like Derek. I like Carr.
I think I'd rather have Carr.
Really?
Jimmy G wins, but he was also on the 49ers.
Yeah,
So
the
I
49ers
can't
got
really
a stacked
take that
roster.
into the count. So I don't know. I like Carr.
The argument for Jimmy was kind of put to bed last year when Brock Purdy took him to the NFC Championship. So apparently I could take them. So
I think Debo at quarterback could take him to the NFC
hey,
Championship.
CMC, you never know.
Yeah.
And then with my next pick, I'm gonna take the Commanders, which
Sam
you may-
Howell.
you may be surprised they went 8-8-1 last year. So they went 500
Wow.
last year with who was it? Who were their quarterbacks? Heineke and
Heineke.
Howell when he went down.
Yeah, but Howell was
Brissett.
only one game, I think.
Was it?
I think Heineke was
Brissett
not.
was in
Brissett.
Brissett was Browns. My bad.
Let's.
But you have 2 pretty good running backs, and Antonio
Yeah.
Gibson and Alabama.
Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson, thank you. And you got Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson at wideout.
Mm-hmm.
You got Chase Young. You didn't pick up his 5th option, which that seems a little ridiculous to me.
He's got to put a fire in his belly. You know.
I mean, I think so. Hopefully the defense comes out. Like they were talking last year that they were going to have like an otherworldly defense last year and maybe win the division.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening this year, but I think they could go out and repeat, getting 8 wins, maybe 9 wins max.
Chase Young wasn't the same player, or was he hurt?
He
for
was
most
hurt
of
for a
it?
little bit. That's why they weren't ready to pick up that 5th-year option.
I mean, to pick an 8-1 team as a 4th last pick, that's
not too
pretty
bad.
good value.
Not bad at all.
I
Oh,
think there's a pretty good consensus top or bottom 3.
how could we forget that Carson Wentz played there last year?
I was gonna say that, but I
Didn't he start off pretty good?
I wasn't sure.
He
I thought
started off pretty good too that year. But then Carson Wentz
He's easy
happened.
for the game. Yeah.
Poor buddy.
But I mean, when you have 3 different quarterbacks last year and you go 8-8 and 1,
Yep.
Well, they're gonna have how many different quarterbacks this year? I mean, Sam Howell. Just predict
Hopefully
like Sam
one.
Howell not
if Sam
not
Howell
that
can
good.
stay healthy, I think that they could do it. They unfortunately don't have a guy like Heineke.
Who's the
this year?
backup? You know,
I couldn't tell you because Heineke's at the Falcons, this year.
It's a great backup too.
That's like really good,
Could be the starter.
especially a good guy
Could be.
to
Jacoby
mentor.
Brissett.
That's not too bad. That's
Hey,
why
Jake
That's why I thought he was.
Jake
He's
Fromm.
more- I don't know. Jacoby
State
Brissett
Farm,
is-
State Farm.
is mediocre, yeah. But
So you got a decent backup quarterback.
I think
so,
you're banking on Sam Howell. doing
Banking
good.
on
but
Sam
it's your
Howell.
last pick, so either way, I think it is a good pick.
I think it's better than the next 3. So,
Upgraded OC.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so speaking of that, where are you going, Nick?
So the 3 options left: the Bucks, the Texans, and the Cardinals.
You're going Cardinals, right?
Oh, you know it.
Please go.
Not.
Cardinals. Please.
So I'm a Texans fan.
It's tough.
But I'm going with the Bucks. I'm gonna be rooting for the Texans all year, but I think Baker going to the Bucks could reignite his career, possibly, at least to a respectable spot, instead of being a former first overall pick who's now getting moved around the league as the 2nd quarterback or 3rd quarterback. I think with Mike Evans, with Chris Godwin, with Russell Gage got hurt. Rashad White. I think that they have the opportunity to be a solid offense. So
Yeah.
the offensive line is so bad.
Yeah.
And that's what puts him at the bottom 3.
Aside from
Yeah.
Wirfs, Tristan Wirfs.
yeah.
How many wins do you predict? Like upper end. So let's be gratuitous here.
Upper end 7.
7.
I think 5. I don't know their schedule,
I could see them.
but I think 5 is probably what they're gonna.
I don't know
get.
that they beat up on the Panthers, but you split one with the Panthers. If you're lucky, split one with the Saints. You don't think you get that?
No, I think they're getting swept by both.
I said
think
if you're lucky.
No, I say they
That's best case scenario.
they
You're
split
getting
with
one.
Carolina, but lose both to the Saints.
What about the Falcons? I think they lose both to the Falcons.
I don't know. The Bucks are tricky, but they've always gotten the Falcons in the past for a game.
I'd say split as well.
But outside of that, I mean, I don't see them getting anywhere.
Do they play the Rams
Unless they're playing the Rams or Cardinals.
Play the Rams, the blowout Rams.
or
win.
the Texans?
That's right. That's right.
That's the last 3 teams you could choose from. That was probably the best one. But thank God I don't have to pick that last team. So we're
Which
going with
is?
the Texans, baby. Damn it. So choose that
Not
sorry ass
last.
Cardinals team.
Wow.
I don't really have a
Wow.
reasoning for the Texans other than not choosing the Cardinals.
They do
I mean,
have a
CJ,
Former
maybe
Texans
CJ's doing
fan.
decent.
Former
I'm
Texans
sorry.
fan.
Yeah, good reason too.
CJ, Dameon Pierce, they got
Yeah,
Mechie
like
back.
Mechie,
Yeah,
I think
they
Mechie,
added-
Mechie won't win comeback player of the year because of,
DeMar Hamlin.
yeah. It
They
is
got-
what it is.
They added Dalton
Good for him.
Schultz, who's a decent
Dalton Shorts,
tight
Robert
end.
Wood.
yeah. Their defense is, well, yeah, what you expect.
But they did. They added Anderson.
Yeah,
So
Will
Yeah,
Anderson.
but that's just one guy. I
That's
don't,
one
I don't
guy,
think
yeah.
it's like he'll have a great year. But I mean, I just don't think it's going to change much. I mean, maybe in a couple of years, maybe, but
I think
they'll be
it-
better than the Cardinals. That's all I know.
I mean, I have an insider that sends me clips of Nico Collins
Yeah,
every
Oh,
training camp practice.
I have the
so
same
I think you
insider.
have the same guy.
Yeah,
okay,
I think we all do.
Yeah, he could be the next Calvin Johnson. So, so that leaves me with the Cardinals. Not much to say here. I think they top out at 5 wins if Kyler decides to get off the couch and stop playing COD. play some football. Bottom, I think they.
I don't see it happening because COD's coming out before he comes back, so he's gonna be sitting on the couch
I know.
for the
Passer
first 4
rating drops when
games,
that happens,
and then Call of Duty comes out that 5th week. So I mean,
And being that they traded away Colt McCoy because they know he could win a game or two, I think
They're tanking.
their floor is 0-17, and I think with them trading for the Texans pick in 2024, they could just say, "Fuck it, let's grab Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison."
Yep.
Yeah.
that'd be a pretty
Not
sick
a bad
combo.
start to rebuild.
So, do you think they will eventually trade Kyler away?
Can't right now.
No.
I think in
Well, value would be
if
way
they
too
did, it
low.
would be next off season.
Next
It'd be
offseason?
like this Josh Rosen kept up. They probably do it before. Depends if they get number one or not. That's the big thing because we know Caleb's going number one.
I don't know. It depends on if their head coach is gonna get another extension. Is his a? Do we have any idea if it's a 1-year deal? Because
It can't be.
Lovey did the Texans wrong and won the last game, so we didn't get the first pick.
Well, no,
was
no,
pretty
it's
funny.
Gannon. He got a multi-year deal.
Multi-year.
Yeah, from the Eagles. So
Ooh.
his first head coaching gig.
Let's go.
All right.